funny place for somebody from Santa Fe. Anyway, we're at the first foothill of the Rockies. I say it in the singular because it's the first foothill of the Rockies. It's a hill. And it's got this beautiful stand of trees on it. And about a summer ago, I was sitting out with a glass of scotch. Glenmorangie, just to state my preferences. Do you know any better?
That's about the best. Glenlivet, maybe.
Glenlivet's pretty good, but Glenmorangie is $158 in Bragg Creek, but cheaper in the United States. Anyway, I looked at this stand of trees, and meaning what I mean by God, a funny thought crossed my mind. I looked at it all of a sudden, and I said to myself, I could cut down that stand of trees if I want to, but I better have a damned good reason to do so. That's God's work. I don't mean the supernatural God. I mean the God I'm talking about. It's God's work. I don't have the right to cut down these trees unless there's a really good reason. It's a moral judgment, but it's a moral judgment. It's a moral judgment. Like abortion's a moral judgment. Okay, and you know, and I'm pro-life, but it's a moral judgment. And then I looked at the river, which is not alive at all, and I said I could dam the river, and I had the same response. But that's God's work, that gorgeous river, and I could make it whatever I wanted to out of it, but I better have a pretty good reason to do something like that. How dare I just go do that unless it's for a really good reason? What it does, if you start thinking this way, I'm finding as I think this, is it seems to give one a different stance towards the world. It seems to invite a kind of stewardship. It seems to, in the face of the fact that we don't know the consequences of what we do. It's hard to be a utilitarian and calculate the greatest good for the greatest number when you don't know what's going to happen. Okay, Bentham and Mill didn't worry about that, but we got to worry about it. We'll never know. So it seems to invite a different kind of moral, spiritual reverence for what's there. And it's not just human. It's all in nature. We're not alone. That's different. Can you feel it? A little bit?
Anti-anthropic. We are anti-anthropic. We are here to create order. And you said talk about building bridges across chasms. But we are stewards of the immediate adjacent possibility, and we can choose to build a bridge to a higher ground or to a lower ground.
Right.
That's where our stewardship comes in.
Exactly so. Exactly so. Is that working, or is it just your voices projecting? It's a Scott projection. Is it working?
No.
Did everybody hear what he said?
Yeah.
God, I wish I had a good Scott's accent.
That's non-locality at work.
Yeah, it's quantum non-locality. It's called ventriloquism, actually. Thank you. I think it's great that everybody's walking up to a mic that's not working, but they're kind of serious about it.
Since we're running late,
I think I just performed an experiment and proved it.
I think we're going to cap it at these two questions. So you'll be around maybe 10, 15 minutes after.
I'll be around as long as you want to keep me around.
Until I bring you to your hotel. Yeah.
Well, my question has nothing to do with the idea of creating a new religion. If you want to create a new religion, I wish you the best of luck. You won't be the first one, you won't be the last one who tried to have done it. But there is something you said which I want to object to, and I'm trying to object to, but I can't. And it's, you know, because I have a physics background, it's this idea of emergence. And I'm trying to find a way that I can object to it. And
go ahead, I'll help you.
I want you to just try and define for me what, you know, why it is we can't describe these things in terms of physics. Is it because you think it's similar to quantum mechanics, that it's statistical in nature? Is it you think the humans lack the ability to describe the laws, that our brains don't work that way? Or do you think that the laws of physics themselves are completely unable to describe these things?
So thanks. So, did everybody hear what he said?
Yes.
Yeah. Basically, so what's wrong with physics?
Yes. Why doesn't it work?
Why doesn't it work? Well, first of all, I think I should, so I'm going to really try to answer you, okay? So let's take the standard reductionist view, okay? There's string theory down there. or the Standard Model, and general relativity. Thank you, Einstein. Okay, and we're going to do, you know, in the end, we'll deduce everything upward. We really will get everything. Okay, it's all law governed or law describable, and it's all law derivable. Okay, that really could be true. Okay, it's not logically impossible. The standard reductionist worldview is true. Okay, there are some reasons to think that it won't work. So first of all, there are all these good physicists who are saying, don't think so. So, but there's real good physicists who are saying, reductionism is just fine. Let me try to give you a couple examples. And then I think it's going to be a matter that's open for really serious scientific and epistemological and philosophical debate. Because I think what I'm saying is radical. I think I'm saying that Cartesian science is inadequate.
Yeah, that's the impression I got.
Yeah, well, I'm saying it. I may be wrong, you know, just because I'm saying it doesn't make it right. But it's sure interesting to think about, okay?
Yes.
So let me give you, if I can take your time, this is a really fun example that I thought of the other day. And Justin has heard it a couple of times now. All of this since I finished the book 3 weeks ago. So what I was thinking about is a hummingbird and a flower. And what happens? Well, the hummingbird is going to fertilize flowers. I mean, he's not going to fertilize, he does fertilize flowers, or she. Beak down into the flower, gets the nectar, pollen rubs off on the beak, bird flies to the next flower, goes after the nectar, some of the pollen rubs off the beak, gets on the stamen, and you fertilize the second flower, assuming it's not self-fertilizing, right? Suppose that what happened is the following thing. You're going to agree with me, and then the question is going to be, what about the abiotic universe? Okay, I'll just tell you ahead of time. At this point, I get profoundly puzzled. Suppose that what happened is that the hummingbird put its beak into the nectar, and some of the pollen rubbed off on the beak, and when the hummingbird was going out of the flower, all the pollen fell off the beak. That's possible, right? It wouldn't work, would it? Suppose what the hummingbird did was fly to a nearby tree and say, that's the best nectar I've had in months. And all the pollen fell off the beak. Wouldn't work, right? The conditions of existence in the non-ergodic universe of co-evolving flowers and hummingbirds or insects are weird things like that. They happen to work together. Those are what you physicists call relational properties, right? It's not describing the particles in a box with 6 numbers, 3 for position and 3 for velocity or momentum, okay? From which you can derive all of the relational properties of the things in the box, because all they are points with positions and velocities, and you can just calculate it. You can't do it for the hummingbird and the flower. And you can't do it for all the complex things that are as complex that could exist in the universe as hummingbirds or flowers.